Jacob, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start here because I see something about where you are right now that was me 3 years ago, just moving to LA. You've split time between Nashville and LA for several years now?
Yeah, I would say about 2 years.
Yeah.
Kind of just back and forth. Always feeling like I wanted to go back to Nashville. I get back to Nashville, I want to come back. And
Yeah.
it's very consistent. I've been in a long distance relationship for about a year now. So it's been very consistent on the back and forth.
And you've made the move.
I am about to make the move.
You're about to make the move.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of making the move.
I am in the middle of it.
I wanted to start there because on my drive here, I was thinking about that fact and that you're in that moment right now. And I know that when I first got here, and you're fortunate that you have a partner now that's from LA, so you have a little bit of the inside scoop, but it's funny. A lot of people were like, it's going to take a couple years. And now in hindsight, I see that. But what's the experience feel like so far thinking about relocating and making this home?
I've spent probably a total of a year and a half here. Year and a half here already. And I feel like I've come here a lot for work outside of that.
Yeah.
But it's always been different. I always felt a little bit more of maybe like an outsider or tourist, but having a partner who is from here, it's like it's a whole new experience because I don't get as involved in, I don't know, trying to fit in. It's like I already have more of a routine. She knows the city better than I do. And it's been a much easier integration this time around, just having somebody who this has been their home the entire time. Don't feel as scared. And it doesn't feel as new or foreign because I think I just have somebody who is so grounded here. It's just made it very, very easy.
Stabilizing.
It's very stabilizing.
It makes me think too, as you say that part of your journey, which I'm excited to to explore with you in this conversation, was like being out on the road in a big way with artists. And so I wonder, maybe the question is like, you think you have, and for that matter, being in the Navy, which we'll start there in a moment, but you think you have this sense of adaptability and being able to find routine in many different places?
Yes, but I don't think it's like finding the routine in the different places. I think it's just like having it within myself.
Yeah.
And being able to carry it with me wherever I go. I have like a daily journal practice. I think that has been the like core thing that has gotten me through all the traveling, the touring, moving back and forth, coming back and forth between here and LA. So having things like that where it's not necessarily like having routines for the different places, but just having something I can carry with me. Yeah.
I love starting at like the beginnings and early contexts. And the earliest I know of you is that you went into the Navy before you even went and pursued, your degrees. I'm curious, like, where that came from, and maybe even an earlier question of what we should know about how you grew up to understand who you are today.
I grew up just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, in a pretty small suburb. I graduated with, I think, just less than 100 people. I didn't really, I struggled through high school to know what I wanted to do. I always liked playing music. I played drums for a very long time, and chasing that felt unattainable. I didn't really know how to go about doing that, or I didn't really feel like I had the resources to do that. And I did very poorly in high school. I was in summer school every year, failed pretty much every class. And when I graduated high school, I just was like, oh, I was supposed to be paying attention and kind of figuring out what my life is going to be. And I remember sitting on the front porch of my parents' house, just like amidst a mental breakdown of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and nobody's going to figure it out for me. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. So I was like, I'm going to join the military to go figure this out and to give myself basically discipline and a buffer to like not waste time and, waste my life basically. So I think I went to a recruiter like the next week, and it was a year-long process from when I had that moment until when I left for boot camp. And there were many times where I was like, I could back out of this, but I knew that I would have just ended up in the same place. So it was kind of from a place of hopelessness that I did that. Yeah, I spent 4 years in the Navy. It's probably one of the best things I could have done for myself at the time.
Do you have siblings?
I do, yeah.
Are you the older
I'm
sibling?
the youngest one.
You're the
I'm the
youngest.
youngest, yeah.
Did anyone in your family or go into something like?
My grandfather was in the Navy, and I
Yeah.
think his dad, so my great grandfather, but I have no recollection. Like, I don't even think my dad was born.
Yeah. You knew that no one was going to fix it for you, that you had to figure it out yourself. I think it's taken me 30 plus years to learn that like nobody's coming to do it for you. How do you think you knew that at 17, 18 years old?
I think I'd went to like seek advice from
Yeah.
my parents, and they I don't know if they didn't tell me what I like wanted to hear. I don't know. Like, I remember they said something that I was like, that makes no sense. Like, that's it wasn't that I like was unsupportive of whatever I was trying to do, like in figuring out my life, but I just remember feeling like, oh, if my parents don't have the answer, then like if they can't fix this for me,
Right.
then who else but me can do this?
So in hindsight, they were like, it's up, in some way, they were like, it's up to you. We don't have the answer for
Very,
you.
very indirectly. I think it
Yeah.
was just like there was no guidance or no
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay.
In something about the structure of military felt like not relief or an answer.
It felt necessary. And I
Interesting.
like knew I needed that
Interesting.
because I just was so unstructured throughout high school, didn't care, slept through class.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get my shit together.
Yeah. Was there you said you played the
I
drums.
did.
Looking at you now, like how multidimensional you are as a creative, was there any other early seeds of creativity?
Yes, it was all surrounding music, and like, little bands that I would start with friends, and
Yeah.
in the era of MySpace, right? Like,
You would have a song on your profile?
well, even though for like creating a MySpace profile for a band, right? It's like figuring out pictures and, maybe logos or whatever the branding looked like on MySpace in whatever year it was. I think was exciting for me to kind of put this like full picture together of what this entity was, but the bands never went anywhere. It was like they would start and they would stop,
Yeah.
shortly after we created them. But I always really enjoyed that. And there was even like maybe a middle school or high school project where we had to make like a short movie. And I remember like that being so fun. Me and my friends like were all skaters, so we created like such a silly skate video, but it had to have some sort of plot. I just really remember like enjoying that whole thing and being like, wow, we made this. And then just didn't even think about that being a possibility to do that more often outside of a school project.
So you go into the Navy. You said it was one of the best things for you.
Yeah, at that time.
Why is that the reflection? What was that time like for you?
I mean, I remember the first night of boot camp. I was like, what did I do?
Where
I want to go home.
were you?
The basic training was just outside of Chicago.
Okay.
In Great Lakes, Illinois.
And you're 18.
I had just turned 20.
20, okay.
Just turned 20, like a week or two before I left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like wanting to give up, and I was like, no, I got to do this. I got to see this through. Yeah, I think I knew that I needed to get out of where I grew up, and I needed to be accountable to myself, and nobody was gonna like fix this problem. Like if I just gave up that first night, I would have been home back at square one.
Yeah.
So I think it just gave me like responsibility and accountability to myself to make my life worthy of whatever I thought it should be.
Did you find like going from a place of feeling a bit aimless, hopeless, that you found a sense of like purpose? And what stands out to you about that time in the Navy? Because you were in Virginia and deployed, yeah.
Yeah, I was stationed in Virginia. I think the whole like progression of it. So I went to like my job, my initial job that I'd signed up for was to be an equipment operator, like heavy construction
Yeah.
equipment. And I got injured. I hurt my eye. I was blind for like 6 months.
Wow.
And I essentially got disqualified for that job
Yeah.
because my vision wasn't healing correctly. And so they ended up sending me to a ship with like no job title, basically. It was just like go and they'll just put you wherever they need you. And then I get to the ship and they're like, we leave for a deployment in 2 weeks, like go back and see your family. I think showing me that like so many things can change or things can go wrong and we can still persevere and come out the other side. And like,
Yeah.
just because my job title changed or I ended up in a different department, like my life isn't just gonna like wither away. And I think probably the biggest, I think about this all the time. One of the things I miss about being in the Navy is there's like a requirement to like always be working on your next qualification. So the like personal, I don't know what word I want to use.
Like growth and development.
Yeah, like not self-improvement, but
yeah.
you always have to be working on your next qualification. So
Yeah.
there's always this like voice in the back of your head, like, what am I doing to make my career and make myself better? And I think that's the one thing that I really remember from my time.
Do you think that's something, or is there something else that you feel serves you in this life you're living now as a creative?
Yes, I think knowing how to like manage a team of people,
Yeah.
having some sort of leadership responsibility. When I was in the military, wasn't a lot of people. It was like 4 or 5 people, but I think that is one thing I am very grateful to have learned, because on film sets or on shoots, it's like, I have to be directing the crew and talent and all these other people. And
Yeah.
I think knowing how to delegate tasks has been a very big blessing.
Was there any, what do I say, like creativity and artistry that expressed itself either for you or in that environment? Like, did you find it in those years?
No, my job was very hands-on. I was a mechanic for
Yeah.
most of it. So, I mean, there were times where we had to be creative in fixing something, especially like an emergency situation, but nothing directly related to being in the Navy. I stopped playing drums when I joined, just like didn't have the time or
Yeah.
the space for any of that. But towards the end, I would say like the last probably year I was in, I was like, I want to start playing drums again. I kind of thought about separating from the Navy. I was like, I want to pick this back up because if I get out, this is something I want to consider doing.
Yeah.
So I connected with like a few other musicians on the ship. We didn't play together or anything, but I think just finding that like group of like-minded people was really nice for me, and then it helped me transition back into music once I got out.
So you did get out and transition back into music, right? And that's what motivated you to move to Nashville. So tell me about that transition and that choice.
Yeah, so I'd started playing drums and like probably a year before I got out, and right when I got out, I met a group of people in Virginia and started playing with them, and that was going really well. We were having a good time, and I knew that I was going to be leaving Virginia, so we didn't like get too in the weeds in it.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to Ohio, and like right when I moved back, my brother passed away, and I just had a moment where I was like, man, I gotta just go do whatever the hell I want to go do.
Yeah.
Because I was fighting this urge to maybe play it safe, go get a business degree or go do something that is practical. And I just had a moment where I was like, you know what? I think if I don't go pursue music, it's just gonna be bugging me for the rest of my life that I didn't try.
Yeah.
So I was like, I am going to apply to 2 different music schools, and whatever one says yes first, that's where I'm moving. And so I applied to Belmont in Nashville, and I'd never been to Nashville when they accepted me. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm moving to Nashville. And I think it was like 3 months. So I had to go down there, find an apartment, and get my life figured out and settled.
Wow.
All in the midst of like grieving the loss of my brother.
You lost your brother once moving back to Ohio.
It was like maybe a week or 2 before I was planning to move back. Yeah.
And then you came back in the wake of that.
Yeah, I mean, I flew back for
Of
I flew
course.
back for like the ceremonies and to deal with everything, and then went back to Virginia, loaded up my apartment, and then
Your older brother.
went back. Yeah, my older brother.
I'm so sorry, and thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Um, yeah, that's a huge inflection
Yeah.
point. What do you, I mean, you said it, but it sounds like it changed. It changed for you what life was going to look like next.
For sure. Yeah, I think I was just always, I mean, even in the military, right? It was like kind of a play it safe thing. And a lot of senior leadership kind of discourage people from getting out because they're like, what are you going to go do? Work at McDonald's? And
Yeah.
it's always in the back of your mind of like, yeah, like I don't know what I'm going to do. And maybe I should just go, work in the trades or go get a business degree or do something that like I know I can go figure out instead of taking a chance on something I'm really passionate about and something that I've been doing since I was 15. So,
Mm-hmm. And that type of loss just like shifted you into some sort of deeper truth on what you actually felt connected to.
yeah, I think it was pretty simple. I was like, life could be really short
Yeah.
and I don't want to waste time doing something that I'm not excited about.
Yeah. Do you think I find that in just to ask you one more question about to honor this, I find that grief is like probably one of the quickest inroads to truth. Do you agree with
Yeah,
that?
100%.
Like in me pursuing this podcast and coming back to it and making honestly big change in my life in the last year, mortality and death and grief, like I swear to you, like sit right next to me.
Yep.
And they're a mirror to life.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like just sitting in my gratitude for you sharing that, because it's like this moment of like, yeah, that's the thing that when we commune with that by horrific circumstance or daily meditation, that's going to be the mirror that like asks us to look at what we actually want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that's always like right below the surface for me. I'm like, if I don't go chase this wild dream or start this project or take this trip now, it's like, well, I'm going to be like 50 or 60
Mm-hmm.
and look at this time and probably be upset that like I continued to just not take risks.
There's
And
there's beauty in you articulating it as life could be really short.
yeah, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah. And I remember hearing it. I really loved it. Like it is a assumption that we have a ton of time, or it is someone used like it's the language hits. It's like there's entitlement in the assumption that you have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could or I couldn't.
Yeah.
That's like I'd rather just take the risk and do what I want to do just in case.
Yeah. So that, and the last thing else, because I love what you just said, is it also flips you into like, and it'll be a perfect segue to us talking about your creative life since that moment. But I think it also shifts you into, I don't know if I'll be here to even see what this becomes.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't become anything. And so it detaches you from that destination.
Yeah.
And that I find shifts you into, well, what if I put my attention on like enjoying the process of today?
Yeah.
So you moved to Nashville to pursue the drums.
I did, yeah.
You go to Belmont.
Mm-hmm.
You end up studying entertainment and photography.
Yes.
You shared with me.
Yeah.
And then you start this journey into music in maybe a way you didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
How did all of that come together, and how did that door open for you?
Well, I'd moved to Nashville to play drums, and I was doing that, and I was playing with an artist, and there was this showcase series at Belmont that the school puts on. You play in front of like probably 1,000 students, and it's all student run, and it was the biggest show that I'd played, and I got done playing. We only played 3 songs, got done playing the 3 songs, and I walked off stage, and I was like, I don't ever want to do this ever again. It was like such a clear moment of like, I'm done playing music.
How come?
I don't know. I remember feeling that all of it was more of a burden than it was fun, and didn't spark joy in me to play drums on stage.
Wow. Wild to, I love this because it's wild to get to the thing you thought you wanted
Yeah.
and and be so clear on, no, I'm good.
It was so clear. Like that day, I like stopped playing drums. That was the last time.
Wild.
Yeah. I mean,
Scary or relieving or what?
relieving and clear. It was just clear.
Wild.
And I was just starting photography at the time, and luckily I was still in school. I had probably at least a year or a year and a half left. So I was like, okay, I am gonna finish my degree,
Yeah.
so I have time. So I was continuing to do photography and being at a school full of musicians, in a city full of musicians. It was so easy to just get connected with people and kind of collaborate and work on creative projects just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went all in on that. And maybe 2 semesters later, like the next year, I had worked on the showcase, but as a photographer. Um, so I did like all of the promotional photography, and I ended up photographing the live show, and which is where I met my friend Jake Wesley Rogers, and
Yeah.
that just kind of that relationship lasted. I mean, I'm still working with him now, but
Yeah.
yeah, like so I just continue to work with musicians, and then with Jake I went to South by Southwest in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and I met an artist named Yoklor, and that was probably March of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and that fall of 2018, Yoklor had asked me to go on tour with them, and that was like right when I graduated. So that was kind of like the thing that carried me from post graduation kind of throughout the next
Mm-hmm.
year and a half of my freelance career. Is really the thing that was like grounding me and keeping me
Yeah.
afloat to keep doing it. So
What was it about the photography that all of a sudden felt more true to you, you think?
I don't think I was ever thinking about what it would be like to be performing.
Yeah.
I was very happy to be doing what I
Because
was
you had
doing, and
that one experience and you were like,
yeah, and
not for me.
I felt really good about what I was doing, and I felt like I was passionate and getting better at it, and I
Yep.
was very focused on that. I think maybe I probably had thought about it a few times, but I think I was always grateful that I wasn't doing it because it was
Interesting.
more stuff to deal with,
Yeah.
more gear to lug around, and yeah, I think I was going back to it. I was just so clear on like I don't want to do that, and I really like what I'm doing here.
It's well, that clarity is also nice to hear because I think sometimes I know for me, I'm like, oh, I should do that thing versus the thing that feels really good to do.
Yeah, I mean that is something I struggle with still all the time. Is
Mm.
doing the thing I think I should do versus doing the thing I know I want to do. Like I had a call with a potential client yesterday, and I was like, this is paid work. This is
Mm-hmm.
great. I should take this. And I don't want to because it feels so unaligned with everything else I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I should take this because I have responsibilities and bills and other people I'm accountable to. So it's always a hard balance. But I mean, that I don't think that's ever going to go away from me.
I'm very familiar with Jake Wesley Rogers' music. It was like medicinal during COVID. And I would love to ask you, I mean, his music, I remember everyone talking about it during COVID. There's such a rawness to it that I find like it feels holy to experience. I'm curious what you feel like you learned from those years being close to art like that, and like what about that collaboration has stayed with you and shaped you?
Hmm.
Because I love the idea of you both coming up into your careers alongside and with each other in like your separate but compatible genius
Yeah.
spaces.
There's a lot. I think Jake is so like unapologetically himself, and he
Mm-hmm.
takes big risks and chances on things he really believes in, whether it's songs or visuals, music videos or photos or the live performance. It's like he believes in what he's doing so much, and
Yeah.
he just goes for it. And it's for me, I'm like, yeah, it's given me, I think, permission to
Go
trust
for it.
myself and just go for it. Yeah, maybe that is going to cost more money, but why am I going to let a financial barrier stop me from doing what I want to do? Whether it's like I figure out a new way to do it that
Mm-hmm.
is within the box that I have, or maybe, okay, I have to spend a little bit more to make this thing happen because I fully believe in it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thing that witnessing that really changed my like connection to personal projects and the things I believe in, because I've always been in service of, you know, musicians or brands, and I've always had my own ideas and I've taken photos for myself, but I've never really had like full authorship on something and trusted myself to really go for it. So witnessing that in him and being able to create things with him in that world, I think has benefited me more than I probably am even aware of.
And it's manifesting itself in what you're creating now, which
100%.
I'm excited to get into. I'm also curious to ask you, I love, like you just said, like finding the permission to just go for something. I would imagine like there was a first for everything. Like there was a first music video you directed with him. There was a first time you toured with a musician. This is the first time you're building a docuseries like you are. So it's like this accumulation of firsts.
Yeah.
You know? Just because I'm curious, what was that life like for you personally? Like, I can imagine there's not much else like touring.
I mean, similarly, the military is
well,
very,
it's funny
like,
you said that, because as I asked the question, I was like, wait, but there is a connection
it
there.
felt, I mean, very different, but
The word touring.
Yeah.
But very different touring.
Very different touring.
Yeah.
There were similarities. I wouldn't say that they were very similar in nature, obviously. But I think like sleeping in a room full of bunks with a bunch of people, and just like the companionship and the camaraderie of traveling, and these are like the only people you're spending months at a time with. There's a different level of connection, and the bond that you create through all these struggles, like you have these shared frustrations and struggles, and you get to see everybody at like their most vulnerable state.
Intimate.
Usually it's very
Intimate's a word for it.
But I don't know, like touring either with Yoklor or with Jake was kind of a dream. It was just like a group of friends. Like I think with Jake, we had built a friendship over a few years before we had gone on tour.
Sure.
And same with like the band and the crew. So by the time we were really going on tour, it was like, oh, I'm just going to hang out with my friends for a couple months.
Yeah.
Yoklor was kind of the opposite. Got on the tour, built a friendship, and then the tours after that, it was just like, going to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Very surreal, I think, at times, because I was like, this does not feel like work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was a big part of my identity, and I really enjoyed the work I was doing until I didn't. But the day-to-day of it was, I mean, I was just telling my girlfriend the other night, I was like, one thing I really miss about touring is like it's the middle of the fall and I wake up in like some Midwest town that I've never been to, and I can like walk to a new coffee shop and get coffee. And there's so many like little micro experiences within that. I think that really, I don't know, made it a little bit less monotonous and mundane.
100%. Reminds me why I love a road trip, and I'm doing a cross-country road trip in a couple weeks.
Fun.
This author I love, he talks a lot about like how like habituation is the stagnation of our curiosity and creativity, and he like makes it his mission to disrupt that. And so I love the way you talk about that it kept you like active and engaged with the world, quite literally, because you're moving at such a velocity. Yeah.
And I mean, even with touring and kind of, you know, habits and repetition, like I was photographing the same exact thing every single night. And especially with Jake, he wore the same outfits every single night.
So, and you heard the same songs.
Same songs.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to figure out a way to see this from a different perspective and capture this in a different way, because I know the challenge. I know the moments I can get. I know what works, but like it's so boring. So yeah, I think just during the show and the times where like it was either before or after the show where everything was kind of the same. It's like you have to find a way to make it different, to make it sustainable, because if not, I think
right,
probably just go a little insane.
Well, let's talk about craft.
Let's do it.
And I think to start, you made a decision at the end of last year coming into this year to make a big change. Talk to me about what making that choice was like and what led up to it.
I remember the moment very vividly. I was in the Mexico City airport. I just finished a tour, and one thing I like to do if I'm able to is take a little trip for myself after a tour. I went to Mexico City. Julia met me there, my girlfriend, and
Amazing city.
yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And I felt anxious the entire time, and I like didn't bring a laptop. I think I brought just one camera. But, like, even before she got there, I was just really anxious, and we had different flights. So when she got on hers, I like went to a corner in the airport and I like cried for an hour.
Nice.
I just had like a mental breakdown in like the back of
After the tour, before the vacation.
after the tour, after the vacation.
Oh, after you had the trip.
It was like
My
in the
gosh.
Mexico City
I
airport.
had a breakdown in Mexico City too. Last May.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I called my mom and I was just like, she was asking me like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But something's wrong.
Yeah.
And that was just a moment of clarity of like, something is not right. And I think I know what it is, but I was afraid to admit it to myself. And it was that I just didn't feel excited about being on tour anymore. And my mom gave me a good piece of advice. She was like, well, you don't have to make that decision right now. Like, is anybody calling you to go on a tour right now? I was like, no. She was like, okay, well, make that choice when you get the call. That was really hard because I felt like I needed to make it now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really don't know if I'm just stressed or if I really want to walk away from it. And a couple months later, Jay called me. He was like, hey, got this opportunity to go on this tour. And I was like, all right, I will call you back within a week and let you know. And I called him back a week later and I was like, I don't want to go.
Wow.
And it was like, I mean, I teared up on that call too because it was hard to say no to something I knew I would have had fun doing, but I don't think that like
a good friend and
great
all of
friend,
it.
a whole big group of friends that like, yeah, it would have been great. But I knew that there was something else inside of me that was, I think, begging for my attention. And yeah, I think I was a little, I don't know. I just felt the call to create something of my own and to not be in service of others all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what that looked like, and I didn't know how I was going to achieve that, but I knew I needed to start figuring that out. So
And give it space.
So I said no to the tour, and yeah, that was that.
What was it like saying no and then being in the space of not knowing?
I think similarly to how I felt when I walked away from playing the drums.
Yeah.
It was very clear. I was like, oh, now that I said no, my worries are gone.
Yeah. You felt a shift internally.
Yes, I was like that. I wasn't thinking about, was this the right decision or not?
Yeah.
Like it was the right decision, and I knew it. And I think I was asking all my friends for advice, and one of my best friends was like, I think you know the answer. Stop asking me. You just need to be honest with yourself.
Isn't that amazing? It's like we can ask, but ultimately we know.
Yeah, again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. Like, nobody's going to help me. Nobody can figure this out for me. Why was I asking my girlfriend, my mom, all my friends? Like, they can't make a decision for me. They can listen to me and support me. And maybe
beautiful lesson to relearn again,
100%.
to be in the moment of, oh, no one's going to do this for me. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, okay, like I made the decision. Now what? And that was when I started to reconsider craft. I did the first episode of that, which we had no intentions of it being any sort of series. I was like, I have this idea. I know this painter. I want to make a little, like a 2-minute video on him and his process. And kind of through the editing process, I was like, oh, this could be a good series, you know, which came through the suggestion of the editor on that project. And I was like, yeah, like this is something I'm interested in, and just people who work with their hands in a variety of capacities is very interesting for me. So that was, I think, in 2022. And so at the beginning of 2025, I was like, oh, maybe I should revisit that. And so I started putting the pieces back together and put a few shoots together, and kind of been working on it nonstop all year. Very slowly, but it's been very fulfilling, and it's like evolved so much beyond what I could have ever imagined.
And I know, because I was listening to some of your content that you've put out around it, that you came on to support your cousins with the build of I almost said of Portugal, in Portugal, of Ritual,
Yeah.
and that going and seeing like makers again sparked something in you, and we're both big fans of Ritual. And why for you do you think you were so drawn to that specific craft, I suppose, and what do you think that sparked for you?
I don't know. I think just being in a variety of these spaces reignited the idea for that project. And I was like, oh, there's so many subjects out here for this, and so many stories to tell. And I don't know which factory we were in, but
in Portugal,
yeah. I just remember thinking that like everything that like we wear or that we use has been touched by the human hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a moment where they like were sewing on the tags on like bed sheets, and I was like, oh wow, like there's so many different pieces to all these products that like have a variety of makers, right? Like I think about the shoe where it's like the stitches and the fabric were made by separate people, and so were the shoelaces. I'm like, there are so many different trades that have to go into making one thing, and made me very appreciative and just opened my eyes. I was like, there's a lot that goes into making things, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just like go out and buy things.
Yeah.
And which is great, but it's not there's just like the human touch on everything, and that really excited me.
And I might add, because it's the existential reality that we live in, is like we live in a culture of hyperconsumption, hypercapitalism. I worked in places and systems that like perpetuated cheaper manufacturing, and it's a privilege, and I look at brands like Ritual and your cousins, my dear friends, that have made the decision to build with integrity and to really go from end to end with where their product comes from, down to like the trees in Portugal. And I will say, I think we are like-minded millennials that our values really sit centered with being able to be really thoughtful with what we're consuming, and the byproduct of our culture is that it's a privileged place to be in, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I wonder for you, what you like. I find that I cherish like knowing where the goods come from and supporting local makers, and I feel like that's so much what is at the heart of craft. You watch the beautiful series that you're putting together, and I'm like, it almost feels like time traveling back to a time when there wasn't like so much commercialization between the consumer and the maker, and you get to like see somebody take pride in what they're doing. I would love to ask, is there someone that you've worked with recently or featured through this series, like that you take us to like that experience of being in their environment and getting to like witness and observe them and their craft?
The ones that come to mind are the ones that I've done the most recently, because I'm like in the middle of editing them, so I'm like watching the footage.
You're with it.
I'm like listening to everything that they're saying. But one of the subjects is, his brand name is Loyal Strickland, and he made this denim jacket. He makes like really nice leather goods, like backpacks, wallets, and a variety of things. And then the other one is a ceramicist, and just being, and their spaces are very different, but seeing their creativity through like different materials and why they choose different things and how much they care about it and why they're choosing something, I think it just continues to remind me that like I should care about the things that I'm making and the people that I'm bringing on or the cameras that I'm using. I'm like, there's so much depth, and there is the opportunity to like take the easy way out. Like they could
cut corners.
Cut corners. Like the ceramicist could get molds made of her stuff and send them off to a factory and still sell them. And Michael could, send a template for his backpack out and like have somebody else make it. But they like choose to make these things that take
by hand, time.
It takes so much time. And like if you mess up, like if she's on the wheel and she messes up a plate, like, well, gotta start over.
Yeah.
And I think the dedication that I've been able to witness is just like always a good reminder for me to keep going. Like listening to their interview footage, they're like things that I've listened to from both of them that I like tell myself almost every day. Like it plays in my head, so it's kind of been restorative in another aspect, because they're talking about like giving up or to do it anyways, to do it scared, and I'm like, yeah, like I do need to keep going. I do need to not back down. So yeah, I think that like my biggest takeaways and lessons have been, I think, less about the things that they're making and more about their personal struggles and their journeys and their ability to keep going even when they want to give up.
There's so much in that. The thing I really love is what you've drawn attention to being that the point is that it takes time.
Yes.
And our culture does not feed that is of great value to us.
Correct.
And you and I talk a lot about this, and I was thinking about this morning. I am having conversations about how to live truthfully because I'm trying to figure that out for myself. And what I love that I hear emulated in your experience is like you're studying people and interviewing people and documenting people in their artisan craft is you are figuring out your craft.
100%.
So it's like the art that you needed. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to like learn how to edit, and like I'm editing these most recent episodes, and I'm not an editor, but I'm like, oh, this has been so beneficial to listen to these artists talk, and I'm like, these edits are taking me probably 10 times longer than it would be if I like had the money to hire an editor. And like I have an episode that's fully done, and I just like haven't put it out because I'm like trying to figure out how these other ones fit into it. But I think a year ago I would have been so stressed out about just like putting it out. And now I'm like, this can take a little bit. I mean, I need to put it out eventually, but I need to be intentional about it, and I need to make sure there's some cohesion with what I'm doing and that there's integrity to the series as a whole. And yeah, I mean, listening to them is like a little therapy session every time I'm editing.
Every time you do it. What's something recently that you heard in editing?
This morning I was going through the footage of the ceramicist, and she talks about this phrase that she lives by and kind of, I think, has taught her kids, but to do it scared.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, like I don't know what I'm going to do, or I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I don't know where this series is going to end up. I don't know the like end user for it, and I'm just going to do it anyways, and I know that I will figure it out along the way.
Yeah. You're in a beautiful experiment of not knowing what's going to come of it, 100%. But knowing what it sounds like that you're waking up and choosing it.
Yeah.
What is that experience like? What can you share with me because I need about that experience and like that being your compass?
I don't know. I think previously it probably would have stopped me in my tracks from like doing anything and making progress and working on the edits. But now I'm like, okay, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if, we're going to post them to YouTube or if we're going to find some other distribution avenue. And I mean, it's a mental struggle every day, but I'm like, well, I still need to finish it. And I think about the early stages of any sort of media that I like to consume, music, books, films. I'm like, we probably don't ever get to see their early versions of it.
Totally.
And their final product is definitely not their first try. Maybe like 0.001%. But I just think about that. I'm like, oh, I have to figure it out, and I have to develop the skills. And episode 3 might not be great, but I know I'm going to learn so many lessons from 3 to 10 that episode 10 is going to be the one that is it. I'm like, oh, I was doing all of this to get to this point. And I'm just like, like this morning I learned like 3 new little techniques with editing, and like, great. I'm very grateful to have learned this, and now I know how to do this and to consider this next time I'm on set.
I find that, and I hear it in what you're sharing now, the moment I'm in right now in the season I'm in with building this podcast, I was talking to my little sister about it, who was a guest, and she's newly like in the culinary world. She just joined the meat station in the restaurant she's working at. There's something about like, I don't know, when you are with your craft, there's a lot of enjoyment and appreciation of the learning as you go. Do you find that there's a distinction in you being with this work that is your own now, and where you're like more and more engaged with the learning as you go, or do you think it's something that you've always appreciated?
I think I've always appreciated it, but now I'm a little bit more, I think, involved with it, and I'm embracing failure a lot more now, just so I can learn something. Mm-hmm. I think before I would have maybe taken the easy way out or not approached something or not started something, and now I'm just like, the only way I'm going to learn is by making a mistake.
Yeah.
Or just like spending hours messing up an edit and it looking really funny. I'm like, okay, I got to start over. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm much more excited to get onto my computer and edit, because I know, it might take me 10 hours to do something. It would take somebody 1 hour, but
right. But there's like enjoyment and engagement there for you.
Yeah, it's like I want to get up and do that every day.
I want to close this out momentarily with some fun ones, but tell us like from where you sit now, and I acknowledge completely like it's unfolding as you go, but your vision for this series, and what kind of are the guiding principles for how you're moving forward?
Right now, it's just to evolve each one in some manner every time. So the first few were like 1 minute to 2 minutes. The one I'm working on now is about 9 minutes, but I think we're going to expand that one even more. So all of the ones up until this point have only had like the main subject, but now we're like interviewing other people. So with the ceramicist, we interviewed a chef that she works with.
Yeah.
So we're getting other perspectives and making the videos longer. So that is just kind of where I'm at right now, making each one a little bit better and a little bit different to figure out what the framework of the series is. So right now I think we're aiming to do like 45 to 50 minutes for each one. And that is a lot of time.
You're fully creating like a documentary series. Yeah. On your own.
On my own. And I'm just about out of money for it. So that's why I'm like having to learn how to edit and do all these other things and put things on credit cards. But I'm just like, I believe in it and I'm going to make it happen, and I will deal with whatever consequences later.
I admire it. And I find for me, it's like this balance of the stability and the freedom and that paradoxical interplay of the two. Well, I love it. It feels to me like in a world where we're pushing towards like optimization and artificial, it's just this return and great reverence for tradition of making and time and like working with hands. And so I really enjoy what you're creating, and I think it will really resonate with whoever gets to experience it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, a few fun ones and then we'll wrap up. Fill out this sentence. I used to think blank, and now I know blank.
I used to think that failure was a bad thing, but now I think failure is completely necessary.
I love that. Okay, what would your 8-year-old self say to you?
I don't know. He'd probably just be like, cool, bro. Probably wouldn't have much to say. Yeah.
What would your 80-year-old self say?
Stop playing it safe.
What's a ritual or practice that keeps you?
Journaling. Yeah, I think it allows me to filter out all my thoughts.
And what's a truth about the season of life you're in right now?
The truth of the season of life I'm in right now is that so much of the work that I'm doing is bearing no reward, but that is not a reason to not do it.
External reward.
Yeah, external reward.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for being on the podcast. I love talking to you about creativity. It keeps me going.
I love it.
And I have great reverence for all the integrity and the care you put into what you create.